What's going on, dudes and dudettes? So, yes, the Chargers' best player on defense, Derwin James, apparently during the game versus the Chiefs, found out that he separated his shoulder, went to the locker room, popped it back in, and then eventually finished the game, which is crazy. Usually guys don't go in for the rest of the game after that, after halftime, but that's why I said he's one of the better players, the better competitors on the team. That's why I like him a lot. And luckily he'll be fine. I mean, that's according to him, but I also have been seeing that he is practicing still. But then again, they get an extra day of rest because they don't have to play till Monday. So that's going to benefit him this week, maybe not next week, because then they do have one day less, technically, of rest because they have to play on Sunday again. But as of right now, everything's good with him. He's always been hit with injury bugs, so hopefully not. Then offensive lineman for USC, Frank Martin II. Kind of surprising. I always thought he was going to end up being on the starting line at some point. He was a talented guy coming out of high school, but never really heard his name that much, especially during games or even during practice or interviews. And then found out that he is no longer on the team. So I read a little bit more and found out that he's working for the USC athletic department, kind of working with like their diversity and equity, some type of thing that they do, which is pretty cool for him. At least he's still with the program in somewhat of a case, and still working on his degree is what it seems like. I don't know exactly if he's going to be working at USC or trying to get something extra with the football team, but we'll find out in the future, I guess. Then Zion Williamson kind of broke news in the NBA. I think it was like couple hours after I did the video on Monday, which sucked, but apparently he broke his foot while working out too hard, according to him and whoever was around him. He likes to work out solo during the off season, which is kind of what he did. Everybody thinks that he doesn't like his teammates or wants to be traded, but it's just what he's comfortable with as of right now, especially during the pandemic. But obviously he was feeling a lot more healthy than he's been and a lot better, and he pushed himself too hard, and that's the thing that sucks with Zion right now, is that his body is still too fragile, and ended up, according to him, breaking his foot. I don't know how serious it is because he says he will be ready by the start of the season coming up, so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully he doesn't miss an extended period of time, but you just never know with those foot injuries, which sucks. And then yes, my favorite guy. I thought I got rid of this guy. Ex-Chargers head coach last year, Anthony Lynn, who is now the offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. He's not doing a bad job, but he has two pretty good, talented running backs. But one article said that USC is interested in him, which is crazy. I know this one Fox analyst guy or talking head guy, Colin Cowherd, mentioned that USC should go after an NFL type of guy. Yeah, Pete Carroll wasn't the kind of maybe coach at the time that USC needed. He wasn't, really sought after or looked up high on, whether it was college or the NFL at the time, but he was an NFL coach and knew how to deal with guys with certain personalities and was able to bring them together, and they won 3 championships, and it was the best times at USC recently. But he kind of believes they should go after a NFL style head coach because they won't care about the fact that these players are making money, and he doesn't think they should go after control freaks like the Sabins at Alabama or anybody like that at Dabo Swinney at Clemson. Those guys want too much power, and they probably hate the fact that these guys make money. But I don't know. I don't think Lynn is the guy, just because he had a lot of shortcomings while the coach at the Chargers. Yeah, I think it was his second year where they went like 12 and 4 at the time and made the playoffs, won the first wild card round, lost in the second round, but that was because everybody was healthy. It was either his first or second year, I forget. But after that, somehow, whether it was injuries or just lack of play calling or bad play calling, execution, whatever you want to call it, with the players he had, it was always really bad, a bad product on the field. And then luckily I saw another article the next day that the USC should stay far away from Anthony Lynn as their head coach. So I don't know. we'll see how this develops. I hope it's not anything true. Yeah, he could be considered whatever, but I don't think that's the direction they should go, in my opinion, just because I've already seen it once and it was not a good 4 years, so no thank you. Then, yes, Kyrie Irving, ex-Duke player, was not at like the media day for the Nets yesterday. He was at home doing a Zoom stuff, but apparently it's because he is unvaccinated, so he couldn't be in there. But that's just the process of what the NBA is doing right now, that if you're still unvaccinated, you can't really be around teammates and all this stuff, which I don't get how they're going to practice together and have any type of chemistry throughout the season. And then apparently in cities like New York and I think it was San Francisco, that's why the Golden State player is kind of in the news as well, that all people who work indoors, especially like when it comes to NBA players, your personnel around the people, around the players, and the players themselves have to all be fully vaccinated. I heard yesterday, all the Lakers are about to be 100% vaccinated, I think, but Dwight Howard kind of made it weird that he wouldn't say if he was or not. He wouldn't talk about it. He was a guy who was against the vaccination because I think he has a strong Christian background, everything like that, which is, it's up to his decision, whatever, but why would the Lakers say if they're 100% and then he doesn't want to comment or say officially on it? But getting back to Kyrie, that he was still a guy who doesn't believe it, like a lot of guys who around the league are not doing it, but there are going to be a lot of consequences because apparently even today I saw that if you miss games, you're not even going to be paid for those games. And if he's going to miss all those home games, Kyrie, even Dwight Howard maybe, that's at least 41 games you're missing, and that's a big chunk of your contract. I guess if these guys are willing to do that, then that's fine, but have to wait and see, like I always say. Then Drew Tranquil, I forgot to give him some props, especially after seeing him play against the Chiefs. He was all over the field. It's just amazing how much, I never knew how good this guy was. I saw him 4 straight years at Notre Dame. He was playing safety, but then the Chargers drafted him, and I believe it was the 4th round that year, to be a linebacker, which I was already confused because I didn't really remember Tranquil while he was at Notre Dame, and they wanted him to play a different position, but it's been great so far. He was great his first year. He got hurt right before the season, his second year, and now healthy again. He's playing off the charts as well, playing really good with Derwin James, so hopefully it continues. Excuse me, got a dry throat. Then, yes, more Chargers news. Both Keenan Allen and Mike Williams are one of the top duos in the NFL, especially when it comes to stat-wise, because right now they are leading the league in both receptions and yards. They both together have 49 receptions and 659 total receiving yards. So, I mean, that's pretty good. Mike Williams has definitely stepped up. I fear that he's only stepped up because it is a contract year. So most of these NFL guys do play a lot better. It definitely works in fantasy and I guess in real life because he's going to get a nice 3 to 4 year contract, most likely from another team because the Chargers didn't want to keep him, sign him an extra year. And he's probably going to suck because once you get the money, you kind of start sucking and those little knick-knack injuries kind of add up. So we'll see. Then Stanley Borden, he is a young center from Turkey, and apparently he's coming into Duke as a walk-on center. Duke needs a lot of depth at that position. They only have like 1 or 2 guys to be able to play that position, and maybe Paolo Banchero, the talented freshman, if they go really small ball. But yeah, we'll see how he does. Apparently he played very well in Turkey when he got the chance before he became eligible to play out here in the US, so we'll see. Could be interesting. And then Rashawn Slater, more Chargers news. Yes, the offensive lineman. He has a weird stat going. Apparently he hasn't let up a sack since like October or November of 2018 for an offensive lineman. That's a great stat, but also from 19 to 20, I don't even think he played football because of COVID and sat out his last year right before the draft, so it technically doesn't count in my opinion. But the fact that he hasn't given up a sack from the first 3 weeks, especially the type of competition that he has faced, is pretty nice, especially when a rookie is playing that left tackle position. Obviously, the Chargers found someone, and they got lucky that such a talented player fell to them where they were, just like in Derwin James's draft. And I don't know, the NFL will be sorry, but hopefully everything goes good, injury-wise. Then to end off, yes, the Lakers. They put up a stat saying that the Lakers have 3 players of the top 4 in the NBA assist leaders of all time. I believe it's all time, which is pretty crazy. I know Chris Paul is leading just because he's old and has all those assists. That's his game. But I think it's LeBron James is next, Russell Westbrook, and then Rajon Rondo. So 3 top guys who are going to be handling the ball for the Lakers that love to pass. And obviously LeBron and Westbrook can score more than Rondo, but having a guy like Rondo who's like a coach and will most likely be a coach whether it's college or NBA at the end of his career in the NBA, it's going to be very beneficial. We definitely missed that last year. Definitely glad he's back, and especially off of that Clippers team that he was in the playoffs with. And yeah, all we can do is hope that the Lakers do good. I know that little mini Las Vegas thing that they just had this weekend was very beneficial. Everybody talked about it in the press conference and looked like a lot of chemistry and everything was good. They're all friends and stuff, so hopefully it'll translate to the court and they'll have a good season. You never know, but all we can hope for is another championship so we're not tied with the Celtics anymore for the most total championships for one organization. That's all I care about. And if it's against the Celtics, it's even better. So thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.